So after watching the trailer again, as well as sleeping on it, there's one thing that I want to talk about first. Because I've seen only a few people talk about this, and I can't get it out of my head. And that is whatever this is at the end of the trailer. I know it's quite literally traveling, but it looks like it's traveling through the past and future. I don't know why I get that sort of vibe from this. On top of that, the background looks very similar to this, which is shown in the Japanese titles, logos for, Scarlet and Violet. Now, this could be paranoia, but we also see our main character having a stone as a bracelet. Maybe I am overthinking. It's probably safe to assume that, but I can't help it. But considering the leaks surrounding the stone thing and how it might give the Pokemon a third typing, I don't know. I don't think it's too far-fetched. And yes, I know that gem thing looks completely different to the stone that is shown on our main character, but I have a counter-argument to that. So you know how in Pokemon X and Y, their Japanese logo included the Mega Evolution symbol. But in the games, the Mega Stone, and in this case the Charizard Rite X, look completely different from that. I mean, they look similar, but you get what I mean. And yes, it is flipped and upside down. So again, maybe this thing is actually a symbol, kind of like how it was in the Japanese logos of Pokemon X and Y. But really, this is just guesswork, and I'm probably overthinking it, but we gotta consider all possibilities. And to be fair, our rival and best friend, Nemona? I think that's how you pronounce her name, has a similar bracelet to us, but at the same time, it looks quite different. Really, this is just speculation, and it could mean anything, it could mean nothing, we'll just have to wait and see. With that out of the way, I quickly want to talk about Sprigatito, Quaxly, and Fuecoco again, because the last time I talked about them was in a YouTube short, so I feel like I should do them justice and talk about it in an actual video. I'll quickly start with the weed-smoking cat itself, Sprigatito. While it's personally the weakest link out of the three, I don't mind it at all. It's a cute cat that just wants to be loved. And to be fair, I can relate to that. When it comes to design, there's not much else more to say about it. Other than, please, for the love of God, keep this thing on 4 legs. I know that because of this description and this description, that this thing will probably be a grass ghost or a grass poison or a grass fairy. But we don't need it on 2 legs. I can't stress this enough. Keep it on 4. Please. The last evolution starter that was a quadruped was Hisuian Samurott. But even before that, it was... Wait a minute. How the hell was Samurott the large quadruped twice? But anyway, let's get back on track. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record. Keep this thing on 4 legs. That's all we want. I don't even care if it's a pure grass type, just please. Fuecoco, oh my god, I love this thing. It's so cute and derpy, I can't help it. It's a crocodile mixed with a pepper mixed with a sort of ghost spirit in Spain. Well, at least that's the connection that people are making towards Fuecoco. Also, the way that it describes how Fuecoco can absorb heat, I feel like Fuecoco could have a hidden... Fuecoco could have a hidden ability that's similar to Poison Heal, where if their user's burnt, they'll heal. And honestly, quite similar to Sprigatito, I can see this thing being a fire fairy or fire ghost. But yeah, I love Fuecoco. It's a cool Pokemon. I love the design. However, there's really only one correct answer, and that is Josuke Hikashi Quaxly, the same Pokemon that cares about its hair just as much as me. With the only difference being that Quaxly isn't balding and he actually gets bitches. What? You heard me. Please sponsor me. Jokes aside though, Quaxly is probably my favorite starter Pokemon from this generation. The design is simple, and it has a W on its head. It's carrying that dub. I can't stress that enough. And unlike Sprigatito and Fuecoco, we know for a fact that this thing is going to be a water fighting. But I'm quite curious if it's going to keep that, clean sort of look and lifestyle, or is it going to get more rough and wild as it evolves? Basically going from tidy hair all nice and slicked back to it's bad hair day every single day. Also, if this shiny can be purple, that would be nice. But in all seriousness though, I love all three of the starters, and I can't wait to see how they evolve. But that's enough about the 3 new starters. Let's talk about the 3 new route Pokemon that we got introduced to, starting with, what the hell is that? Palmy. It looks like some weird sort of bear dog hybrid. It's a mouse? This thing's a mouse? What? Seriously, if you told me this thing was like a dog bear hybrid, I would believe you. I'm at a loss for words. I'm just confused. Aside from Palmy being extremely adorable and just huggable, I don't have much else to say about it. Really, the only thing I can say in terms of what typing it could be is maybe electric fire, but that's a major stretch. I know because it's a Pikachu clone, it might not get evolution, but I really hope it does. And again, it would be pretty interesting to see what they do with this. Let's talk about Smoliv, a Pokemon which I wouldn't even blame you if you thought this was a regional form, because I kinda did as well. But instead of being Bidoo's distant cousin, it's actually a grass normal Pokemon. Kinda weird that they express on how it uses its oil to shoot at people so that it can run away. And yet its ability is early bird? Really? But yeah, other than that, the only thing I can think of in terms of what typing it could be in the future is it having a split evolution where one evolution is a grass water and the other evolution is a grass poison, just by appearance alone. And last but not least, out of the 3 new common route Pokemon, this adorable pure muscle Lechonk. Yeah, I don't care that much for this. I'm not saying I hate it because it is cute and come on, that name. If nothing else, the only thing I can hope out of this Pokemon and its evolution is it evolves into a fighting and ground type Pokemon, or fighting rock. However, I really don't think this is going to happen purely from the leaks that I've heard, that apparently this thing is going to get eyelash and lipstick. But hey, if they want to introduce a fighting ground pig who wears lipstick and eyelash, power to them, honestly. Overall though, I like Lechonk. I have spent the last 10 minutes trying to think of a funny joke, maybe a funny gag, anything, but no, I got nothing. I actually got nothing. These box art legendaries have me shocked, surprised, happy, confused, and overall just, what the fuck, why do they kinda look like motorbikes? Especially Koraidon? Koraidon? And I don't know. Well, anyway, in terms of Koraidon and Miraidon, unfortunately, we don't have much to go off of. Really, the only thing that we know is the obvious, that Koraidon is the dragon of the past, and Miraidon is the dragon of the future. And while we don't know their typings, it's extremely obvious that they're both dragon types. Miraidon especially is an obvious dragon electric type, which, god, it looks so cool. Hey, so I just finished the video, but I actually realized that I completely forgot to talk about Koraidon and what type I think he is. My brother was thinking dragon poison, but I honestly think this thing could be a dragon fighting just by the way it looks and leaks. But anyway, that's it. Enjoy the rest of the video. See, when it comes to Pokemon games, me and my brother always have this sort of agreement where he would get one game and I would get the other. That way, any exclusive Pokemon we can just trade to each other. But I'm just saying, if me and my brother weren't doing that, red is my favorite color, but I would be going for Pokemon Violet right off the bat. I mean, come on, it's a futuristic purple dragon electric legendary. No one can blame me for thinking that this is just wow. Still can't get it out of my head that it looks like a futuristic bug though. I don't know how to feel about that. Speaking of, I have no idea how to feel about this. Koradon, I don't hate it. It's just, there's a lot going on with this design. It has some muscle, it has some feathers, it has fins, it has weird antennas. It looks like a bike. And I'm sorry if what I'm about to say offends anyone, it's not intentional, I promise you. But the thing on Koradon's head kind of reminds me of an Indian chief's headdress, one of those things. Which is a weird comparison for me to make because I know this region is based in Spain. Yeah, I don't know. Again, sorry if I offended anyone in any way. It's just kind of what I see. But for how crazy and just messy the design is, it works. Like how Miraidon looks like it's from the future, Koradon looks like it's definitely from the past. For me, both legendaries just look great and fit their respective themes. They still look like bikes though. Also, I just noticed that they have Ride-On. So, are they bikes that we're going to actually ride? Koradon could transform into a bike and we travel into the past to get exclusive Pokemon or exclusive forms, vice versa with Miraidon. I haven't been curious about Legendary since Necrozma, so I'm really excited. Kind of backtracking here, I still find it weird that they both have Rhydon in both their names. Speaking of that, they knew exactly what they were doing releasing this on Pride Month. Seriously, getting both Professor Sada and Professor Turo is the definition of bisexual people eating good. I don't even know who to start with first. Giggity. So, so because of how I actually can't decide which one to talk about first, yeah, we're gonna do heads or tails. So what I'm gonna do is heads for Sada and tails for Toro. Okay? Okay. Okay, Cave Woman Mommy. Quite similar to the legendaries, you know, aside from design, we don't know much about them. The only thing that we do know is how, whether it's Professor Sada or Professor Toro, both is looking into a certain lore passed down in the region. So that's definitely going to be depending on which version of the game you play. I'm sorry, I'm just in love with her design. Head to toe, this chick is just out of this world, and honestly, if you told me that Game Freak was gonna make a female professor that was both a modern scientist and a cave woman and actually pull it off, yeah, I would not believe you in the slightest. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And yet, here we are. Now let's talk about Professor Toro, aka the legitimate love child of fucking Giga Chad and Ryan Reynolds. And thankfully, I'm not the only one that thinks that because the internet has gone mad. Both men, women, non-binary people alike has lost their minds from the sight of Professor Toro. Which makes sense considering on how this Greek god was conceived on Mars. Also find it extremely weird that for some reason the in-game model has more of a shaved beard while the official artwork has more of a full sort of beard. I mean, it proves that he can rock both styles, but still. So yeah, I think Toro's an interesting professor. Out of the two, I may like him a little bit more, but that's just because he has my desired haircut and beard. I'm going to be envious of that. Before we move on from characters though, I quickly want to talk about Nimona, since I only briefly mentioned her at the start of the video. The sort of vibe I get from Nimona is the fact on how she is a smartass. However, she has a big heart and she is lovable. So instead of that smartass personality trait being annoying, it's actually quite charming. At least that's what I get just by looking at her. Now, do I think that she's going to be a challenge? Not really. I really do hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, then I am fairly confident that her personality is going to make up for it. And when it comes to her design, don't get me wrong, I still don't like the whole only being confined to like wearing school clothes. Not a fan of it, but with her it works, and I like her design. I like her hair, like her eyes, everything. Oh yeah, speaking of eyes, can we please have the option to customize our eyes? And I'm not talking about the color, I am talking about shape. I know we can't have an eye shape like Professor Sato or Turo because, you know, our character still has to look like a child. That's fair. But even like taking Nimona's eyes and putting on our character, it would look so much better. Just please give us that option. I mean, considering the fact on how it looks like we'll be able to customize a fair bit of ourselves at the very beginning of the game, I don't see how far-fetched it could be. Also, I hate how a youngster has better eyes than us. That bothers the hell out of me. Game Freak, why did you do this? But yeah, let us customize our eyes and also give guys more hair options. Sword and Shield was fucking awful. Speaking of Sword and Shield, has the game improved visually compared to, well, Sword and Shield and recently Legends Arceus? Yes and no. A bit of a minor complaint, but I hate when they were showing off the starters. For some reason they decided, let's make the background blurry as shit. I really don't understand why they did this. They even did it for Nimona, but I would argue that it's not even, it's tolerable compared to the starters. But anyway, this is what Sword and Shield tried to do but failed miserably. Being able to connect with 3 other friends and go on a journey together, whether it's side by side or one goes to, you know, the savannah kind of area or goes to the snow area. I love this so much, and it will make for some very interesting adventures and playthroughs, especially with the fact on how we can go wherever we want. If we want to start with the fire gym and then the water gym, we can. If we want to start with the rock gym and then the electric gym, for example, we can. And I'm so happy about that. And it seems like the feature of Pokemon following us is returning. And it also seems like we'll be able to choose if we want them to follow us or not, which is a nice touch. I just hope it's a set speed. I don't want there to be like a very fast Pokemon that anytime it catches up to us, it just stops, runs, stops, runs, stops. And I also hope for slow Pokemon like Snom, for example, it doesn't take 20 years to just get halfway towards you. And it seems like that the day and night cycle is also returning, so that's nice. I'm glad that it is. Still don't know why it was absent in Sword and Shield. And don't say, oh, the wild area. No, that doesn't count. We all know that doesn't count. It's nice to see critical catches, but I'm wondering if we're going to have the catching of, you know, the catching mechanics of previous games, or are we going to be using Legends Arceus? I don't know. It'd be pretty interesting to see. If the catching is still the 3 shakes, I hope the 3 shakes is a little bit faster this time. Trading looks really nice too, unless it's a quick trade where it only really works for, you know, people that you're connected with. Which kind of does make sense to have the standard trade where it will take a while to, you know, find someone, or a quick trade where you can just trade with the person that you're already connected with. Now, in the entire trailer, I only have one issue, and the fact that I see no one even talking about this shocks me. And I am talking about the laziest fucking battle HUD I have ever seen for Pokemon. This looks like something you would see in a goddamn tech demo. I know Pokemon battle HUDs aren't exactly super detailed, but come on, seriously, this looks like Pokemon Quest. Honestly, the only thing I like about this is the fact that it seems like because of how there's no XP bar, the XP bar might be integrated with the level up you see right there. So it'll fill up with blue, and then once that's full, it will change from level 6 to level 7. But hey, I could be completely wrong, which if I am, that makes this even worse. Earlier I mentioned does the game look better or not, and I replied with yes and no, only to follow it up with how I had a bit of a pet peeve about the excessive amount of blur used while introducing the starters. And I didn't mention it again until now, and to be fair, I do have a good reason for that. I think visually, the graphics and all of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are okay. Not bad by any means, because I do believe that it does look better than Pokemon Legends and obviously Pokemon Sword and Shield. But there are some moments where I look at the environment and I think that tree that isn't done, that bush isn't finished. That cliffside over there looks like many people flew towards it, smashed, and died. But also, as long as it's not blurry and it looks like it has some detail, that it is polished, that's really all I care about. Because that's the thing with Sword and Shield, Legends Arceus, and now Scarlet and Violet, is the fact that there is detail there, even if it's minuscule, but what hurts it is the blur. Like, it looks like someone took a smudge tool and just kind of went around here and there. At least that's the impression I'm getting from it. Obviously, there are some environment, texture, and models which I can't defend. But I can say with confidence that it is getting better. A good thing that Scarlet and Violet has going for it that not many people are talking about, and that's how it's not being weighed down or backed up by false promises, unlike Sword and Shield. I know I give Pokemon Sword and Shield a lot of crap, I'm not denying that. But it's still incredibly sad that for a main series Pokemon game that was meant to take it a step further, be the ideal Pokemon game, and to evolve from that, it backfired incredibly hard. I can't find the initial video. I think it was a Treehouse showcase, but basically, when asked about the National Dex or something along those lines, they explained as to why there was some Pokemon that was going to be cut from the game. And looking back, there were pretty fair reasons, some of them being to improve the models, to improve animation, new models, new animation, and so on. And when the topic of will previous Pokemon be introduced into Galar via update or DLC, there was two different answers. The first time, one of them said on how they have no plans to integrate Pokemon via update or DLC, basically confirming, hey, the Pokemon that appear in the game, that's all you're getting. And the second time they got asked the question, which you just saw the clip, they replied with no comment. But of course, we now know that they did exactly that. They integrated the old Pokemon via DLC, which, to be fair, you didn't need to buy the DLC, because if you wanted to trade it and got lucky, or, traded with someone that had the DLC, you'll be able to get yourself some Pokemon, only the ones included via Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. But to get back on track, when they said on how, the Pokédex was cut because they wanted to focus on improving animation, creating new models, and etc., yeah, that ended up being a fucking lie. When it came to the animation, all of the new animations combined is not even a fraction of a good enough excuse to say, this is the reason we need to cut the Pokédex. And even if you want to say, oh, well, no, those new animations do make up for it, it especially doesn't make up for the lack of animations or just no animations at all. And when it came to new models aside from the new Pokemon, which is no shit, the whole Dynamax thing they're not even new models, they're just upscaled. And look, to be perfectly clear, I'm not saying that the reasons they gave for why they cut the National Dex is a bad reason. Because here's the thing, if they were to say that for Gen 6, the Kalos region, the first 3D main series game, yeah, fair enough, that would be completely understandable. But it wasn't. They not only used those excuses on a Switch game that had a lot more power than a 3DS, only to lie about it and not follow up on that. I mean, come on, even talking about lore for a second, Galar does fuck all. Its story, history, the Dynamaxing thing are exclusive to Galar, so you could take Galar out of the entire timeline and it would change nothing. And the only reason why that's not the case now is actually because of Legends Arceus, where Professor Lavender, the ancestor of Hop and Leon, and Kamado, the ancestor of Professor Rowan, they're from Galar. So to all those people, and you know exactly who I'm talking about, ha, ha, ha! I'm 21 years old, turning 22, and I really just did that. Oh, who am I kidding? It was worth it. But anyway, to kind of wrap this up, in short, those false promises and what ended up being Sword and Shield was the entire reason why a lot of people don't really trust Game Freak anymore, and it's another reason why when people see game footage not final, they are still incredibly critical about it, which you should be. But thankfully, as of right now, as I'm recording this, Scarlet and Violet don't have that issue. They don't have false promises, they don't have lies, they don't have excuses. And honestly, that's what Sword and Shield should have been. So while I don't have extreme confidence on Scarlet and Violet, in no way am I saying that Scarlet and Violet is going to be Sword and Shield all over again. I'm sorry for the rant at the end of this video, and I'm sorry this video was extremely long and maybe all over the place in general. But regardless, I had a lot of fun making this video. I'm probably not going to make another video like this in a long time, so if you haven't already, like this video, comment on this video of your thoughts and opinions. Do you agree, do you disagree with me? And subscribe. We're so close to 100. That's insane. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, and or night. And I'll see you guys next time, where I talk about Sonic Frontiers. Oh god, I'm not ready for that.